in. All right, so, and we also have market centers on the call today. So we love it when we have our market centers that are participating. So hello, everybody out there in market center land. We like to have you on here as well because we're live streaming you into your market center. So we're excited to have you with us, and we've got several people that are just on our call today. So thank you for joining us on our Grow Profit Share. One of the most important things to me is that I want to make sure that we get all your questions answered during this, and also that we're providing you value. So Ashley, I think that you have already put, or you're going to be putting some things in the chat box. Is that correct?
It's already there.
Okay, it's already there. So if you guys go to your chat box, I'll go there with you, and you're going to see, well, I don't see anything there.
Oh, because you logged, okay, I'll repost this because you logged on it. I got you.
All right, so I don't see it for some reason. So Ashley's going to post some things there. So, and ahead of time, we've sent you a video, the Gary Keller video. So I want to make sure that you all logged in and watched that. Now, if for some reason you click on that and it doesn't let you in, look in the upper right-hand corner of KW Connect, because that means you haven't logged into KW Connect properly. So if your face in the upper right-hand corner is kind of it doesn't show your face, kind of shaded out, then make sure that you log in so you can see that link, or just go to KW Connect and type in the search bar profit-share today, profit-share-today, and you'll be able to get into that link. But I think it's important, if you really want to understand profit share, that you listen to Gary on it. And then Ashley has created a Google Drive folder for you. And some of the things I'm going to be sharing with you today in the presentation are actually in that Google Drive folder. So as we do these more and more, we just want to make sure that you have all the materials. And at the same time, you should have already have your manual downloaded so you can kind of follow along with me today. So looks like we've got more of our people logged in. So let me just go ahead and get everything started. But before I do, I just want to say, if you would go off mute or go into chat, let me know what you would like to learn today. What would you guys like to learn today? Go into the chat. What would be one of the most important things that you would want to get out of the class today? Or you're welcome to go off mute and be able to answer that question as well. You want to? Okay. Hit yourself.
Your box is showing.
Okay. So we see here that I've got my box here, my chat box open. So does anybody have anything? No? Nobody's going to go off mute and ask me? All right, then I'm just going to continue on, and as we move forward, I think I see a question. I am always in learning mode in how to continually bring this to my market center. Andrew, I love that, because you know what? The more you learn, Andrew, you got your MREA book and your shift book up behind you. I love that. I want you to send that to me because I want to use that as one of my backdrops. So would you send me that picture so I can use it?
I sure will.
All right,
Yep.
awesome. All right, and Andrew rocks. I agree. All right, well, let's just continue on, everybody, and we're going to learn all about profit share today and how to grow your profit share tree. Let me make sure this is going to move for me. Okay, so what we're going to learn today is, what is profit share? How does it work? How do you develop a plan for your passive income? How a profit share tree grows, growing your profit share tree, and then building your passive income. Now, I have this here because this is important, that you all have gone in, like I said, and watched this video with Gary. If you haven't done it already, please make sure that you do that. Okay. So I'm on page 5 in your book, and excuse me, I'm on page 7 in your book, and what we're going to talk about is, what is passive income? Well, passive income should not have any financial risk to it. In other words, financially, passive income, I like to say it's mailbox money. It's something that can come into you and you receive it passively, and it does not have any financial risk. It has no legal risk to it, okay? In other words, legally, there's no legal risk. Number 3, no down payment. There's no down payment that comes with this. And number 4 is, there's no phone calls. There's no phone calls that come with it. And this is particularly, we're talking about our profit sharing, as it says. It says the income you can receive from profit sharing is absolutely a passive opportunity. Okay. So financial risk would mean if you had money invested in the stock market or something, you might have a financial risk to that. If you had money invested in something that had legal consequences, there could be a risk to that. If you went out and bought vacation property, or excuse me, a property, commercial property or investment property that you would want to get passive income from, that's a great opportunity to build your wealth. We want to talk about that as well. However, if you did that, you would need to have a down payment. There's no phone calls. So for instance, if you own real estate and you're going to be able to maybe not have a property manager, you might get a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, hey, my plumbing's not working. I need you to come over here and fix this. So with the Keller Williams profit share, it's absolutely passive, and there's nothing that you generally need to do besides refer a name to your team leader to be able to receive this opportunity that I'm going to be showing you about here in a few minutes. So how can profit share work for you? This is something that I recently created, and I think it really kind of puts profit share into perspective. So let's just say that in 1 month, somebody earned $500 in profit share. So you can see over here on the left, it says approximate profit share earned for the month was $500, okay? The equivalent to that at 2% interest would be $300,000 in savings. The annual interest that you receive, if you had a savings account of $300 at 2% interest, which by the way would be lucky if you can even get a 0.5% today. But if you had 2% interest, that would equal $6,000 a year or $500 a month. So earning $500 in profit share is the equivalent of $300,000 in a savings account at 2%. If you were lucky enough to get $1,500 a month in profit share, that's the equivalent of almost $1 million or $900,000 of money in a savings account. By the way, Ashley, I believe that this is in their packet, right? This is in your packet. So if you guys want to use this to be able to demonstrate this, if you're here as a market center, I know we have a lot of team leaders here. If you want to be able to use this, we've actually put this, not the slide, but this form actually in your presentation. But if you had $900,000 in the bank at 2% interest, you'd earn $18,000 a year. That would be the equivalent of $900,000 in the bank. Now, I don't know about you, but it would take a long time for me to get $900,000 in the bank. That would be after earnings, and that would actually be after taxes. And most people don't accomplish that in their lifetime. So you can get the equivalent of that just by giving some names to your team leader to help you be able to build your passive income. So something else I want to show you. So you might say, well, I could do that. Well, let's talk about how long it would take you to do that, okay? So if you have an annual business profit or salary of $50,000 and you were to save 10% a year or $5,000 a year, it would take you 5 years to be able to earn 100 years to be able to earn 500,000 or that $1 million I was talking to you about. Now, I don't know about you or me, but 100 years, I'm probably going to make it beyond 100 years. I hope to make it to 200 years, but I'll be honest with you, I don't want to be waiting that long to be able to have that passive income, because I don't know, I might not be able to go out and do all the fun things I want to do when I'm 200 years old. Okay, but look at check this out. To have that $1 million, at 10%, you would have to save $100,000 a year for 5 years in order to be able to have 500,000, or in 10 years, you could have that $1 million saved, but you would have to be making $1 million a year, and you would have to be putting $100,000 away in savings. If you're lucky enough to be making that kind of money, that's awesome. It's just that we're just showing you a quicker way to be able to get there. And you got to remember, that's after your taxes and after all of your expenses and everything, that you would be able to save that money. So I think this is pretty powerful to show you the power of profit share and what it can actually do for you. So who benefits with profit share? Who actually benefits? Let's move over in your book. We're actually now over to page 9. Okay, and on page 9, by the way, it's going to show you, it's going to share with you how profit share is a win-win, and it talks about Gary Keller created the first Associate Leadership Council. And that's what I love about that video, is because it will share with you in Gary's own words as to how Profit Share came to be. Okay. So who benefits? Your family and your heirs benefit from Profit Share. Your market center, okay, and the people you influence to join Keller Williams will benefit, okay, and the Keller Williams associates and leadership in a whole will benefit as well. And who else benefits is you as an agent. If you have a cap and you're paying a cap at a market center, whether it be 18,000, 20,000, 24,000, whatever your cap might be, imagine that you had Profit Share that gave you $18,000 a year. Well, you would be in your market center for cap free. In other words, it really wouldn't cost you anything to be able to run your business and pay in your cap. And then if you had $24,000, I'm sorry, $21,000, sorry, at $18,000 cap, you would actually at 21,000, you'd have your cap and your royalties paid. So actually you can be 100% totally cap and royalty free just by going in and referring an agent, giving that name to your team leader. And that puts you actually in what we call the 100% club, the 100% club. All right. So what will you do with your Profit Share? Okay. I want you to think about it. And this is where I like you to kind of stop and you know, if we were doing this live in a training room, I would actually have you raise your hand, and, you know, it's just kind of hard for us to do those things right now. But what I want you to do is go into the chat box, and I want you to tell me, what would you do with Profit Share? If you had $500, $200, $1,000, $700, what would you do with your Profit Share? What kind of things would you do? So go into the chat box, or you're welcome to go off mute. Andrew, I'm going to call on you. If you had some Profit Share coming in, Andrew, what would you do with your Profit Share every month?
What's that?
I go to Hawaii.
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yep.
What would
Can
you
you
do
hear me
with your Profit Share? What would you do with your Profit Share?
I don't know. I think I'd do something for my wife.
Okay.
She's such a rock. I would do something that's special to her, maybe go on a trip or something like that. Just something to make her life better.
Awesome. Awesome. A lot of people here say, save it for real estate investing, save for real estate investment properties. I would apply it to my investment property with my investment. Look at this, buy investment properties. I love the fact that we got all of you thinking about investment properties. And just so you don't, just to make sure that everybody knows that, Ashley, when you get a chance, can you put up that MREI event that's going to be taking place on Facebook Friday? Just so everybody knows, Sam is going to go on vacation. Joseph, that's awesome. You're going to cover expenses. I love the fact that, kids college. That would be amazing. Kids college. Yes. Wouldn't that be great? On Friday, there's going to be an MREA class with, I think it's Jay Papazan and James Shaw. Am I correct, Ashley? I think it's James Shaw and Jay Papazan are going to be doing an overview, or a book club, I should say, of the MREI. I think it's like a 3 or 4 week going through the book. So if you're interested in buying investment property, you might want to jump onto that. Ashley's going to put that information in the chat box. Okay. Oops, we got some more people that are coming in. That's exciting. Okay. So think about this, go home, talk to your family, and decide what would you do with Profit Share, and how impactful would it be for your life if you were able to have this amazing money coming in. Okay. So who is in the KW Profit Share system? Okay. And you and every person within Keller Williams is in the Profit Share system. So I'm going to ask you, who do you know? Now, something that I want to bring to light is that this is a very mixed up question. I get this a lot. You do not need to be an agent to be in the Profit Share system. A lot of people think that you need to be an agent to be able to participate in Profit Share, and that is not true. You can earn Profit Share without being an agent. Now, what I mean by that is that if you are the, let's say that you're a team and you have an assistant that's working for you, and they're your assistant, but maybe they're not in the market center. Maybe they have another location. Maybe they work from your home with you or whatever. You need to let your market center know so they can put that agent in the system as your administrative assistant. In other words, it's part of your administration team for running your business. That person goes into our KW system. They will name a sponsor, That may be you, it may be somebody else, because maybe they know somebody else at Keller Williams that brought them in and they just happen to work for you. What happens is that they go into our system. So now when they're working with agents or other people and outside the company, and those people decide to join Keller Williams, those people would then name that assistant as their sponsor. So then that assistant would get profit share off of the people that they brought into the company. So that way everybody benefits. If you're an MCA, if you're a director of first impressions, everybody in the Keller Williams system has an opportunity to benefit from profit share. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about who do you know in your well, there's two things. Who do you know in your market center that's receiving profit share? And then the other thing is, who do you know that's outside of your market center that you would love to be able to come in and participate and be a part of profit share? So if you know people in your market center that is earning profit share right now, go and have a conversation with them. Maybe get a profit share book club or mastermind going together. Make sure that you're talking to people that are already earning profit share and work together to find out what they're doing, and then maybe get a club or get on a committee or work with the ALC on their growth committee and really use that to take advantage so you can see what they're doing so everybody can work together on that. Now on your page 13, we also are talking about growth share. Growth share is the residual income that's paid to Keller Williams associates who actually are part of Worldwide. So if you know somebody that is in another country, that would be outside of the United States and Canada. If you know somebody that's in another country and you think that they might be a great fit for Keller Williams, I see we got somebody that raised a hand, and you think they might be a great fit for Keller Williams, we want you to go to the Worldwide website, and then there's a form there that you will fill out, and you'll have that conversation with that Worldwide member, and they will direct you as to how you would either give them the name of somebody that might be interested, or they will direct you to the person that owns that country, and that you could work with that person. All right, so Sam, go off mute and ask me your question.
Yeah, so I was just wondering with an assistant, like getting profit share on that, do they have to be W-2'd or can it be 1099 as well?
No, it's fine if they're 1099. It just needs to be somebody that's working with you on a regular basis.
Okay, got it. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what, Sam, that's a great way for you to, if you think about it, to be able to have your assistant be earning some residual income because they're working with assistants at other companies or something, right? Yeah. And so when they're working with assistants at other companies, they might be able to say, wow, you know what, over here, this is what they teach us. Do you think your agent would be interested in learning more? And then the agent you could actually talk to the agent, then your assistant would be recruiting that agent and that assistant, and then your assistant would get profit share and be able to get bonuses or passive income every month by just being an assistant on your team. Does that make sense?
It does, it does. And are you going to break down the structure as well of how the layers and everything too?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I know that's a misconception that the people that work for us can get profit share. So how does profit share work? So let's move to page 15 in your book. Okay, so this is a big picture of profit share. An associate joins any market center and names you. Now, when we talk about this does not need to be your market center. This can be any market center throughout the United States, Canada, and like I said, worldwide. Generally, it's more closer in geographically, but I want you to understand that this can be any place. So as you're traveling or you have referrals or you're talking to people outside of your area, remember that this is anybody that joins any market center and names you. When that associate pays company dollar, the market center is profitable. I'm going to have an explanation of this that's a little bit more detailed here in a few minutes. On the 21st of the following month, and we've never missed this in the 35 plus 40 years that we've been profit sharing, we have never missed a profit share day, okay? But on the 21st of the following month, some of the market center's profit is automatically deposited into your account. What we mean by some of that is that every franchise owner, when they make a decision to own a Keller Williams franchise, they agree to a certain percentage of their profit, not agents' revenue, not agents' profit. It doesn't come out of agents' commissions. It comes out of the profitability of the market center. That profit is actually put into the accounts are swept. It's put into the profit share program, and then that money is distributed out to all the associates who have the opportunity to earn profit share. Okay, just as it says, you're not getting a portion of the associate's commission. You are sharing in the owner's profit, and that's something that all the owners agree to when they buy a franchise. So for vesting purposes, now this is something that changed recently within the last year on I think it's just been about a year, maybe a little bit longer now, on the vesting period. So this is really two ways. For an agent who joined Keller Williams prior to April 1st, 2020, for anybody that joined us prior to April 1st of 2020, when you've been with Keller Williams for 3 years and 1 day, you are considered vested. This is why, guys, it was really, really important to have anybody that you wanted to be in the profit share program, or like your assistants or anybody, to get into the program when you hired them, because after 3 years, they're vested. If you have them join, there's a whole nother process for that. Okay, so there's no going back. They needed to have been in our system, in our Keller Williams system, prior to April 1st. Okay, and then when you're vested, you can leave Keller Williams and still receive your profit share. So 3 years and a day, if somebody joined Keller Williams prior to April 1st, 2020, that was the change date. So that was this year, actually. Okay. For agents who joined Keller Williams after April 1st, 2020, when you've been a Keller Williams associate, it's now changed to 7 consecutive years and a day. You're vested, okay? When a vested associate makes a business decision to move to a competing brand, their profit share no longer follows. And that says a competing brand. And what we mean by that is they've moved to a competing brand, and they're actually competing with us now. They're taking agents. We now have the ability to stop their profit share because they've done all this great work to be able to help us grow, and then they decide to go to another company after 7 years, and then they're hurting other people's profit share trees. That does not feel good. So first of all, it's 7 years commitment, and then if they go to a competing brand and they compete, they no longer can get their profit share. Now, there's a way to restore this. It says for those associates who choose to return to Keller Williams within 6 months of moving to a competing brand, their profit share period will be reset to reflect their prior vesting date and downlines. And here's something else. This says a competing brand. So if you are with us for 7 years and a day and you decide to retire and just go live off into the sunset, you're not going to a competing brand, you'll still get your profit share. This is only for people that compete. So I just want to make sure that everybody is clear on that. I'm going to go to the chat box. Let's see. Oops, we got some private messages there. So Ashley, maybe you can check those. I think you said that those are showing up on my screen.
Yes, but I don't see any chats.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it was just sent to me. So I'll have to look at that. I don't know why they're showing up on my screen right now. So anyway, let me see.
It's just the gray box is what I'm saying. I can't see what the chat is.
Oh, okay. So let me look at you can't see what this says.
No, it's just the gray box.
Okay, so all right. So let me see here. We put the Facebook group on there. Okay. It says somebody asked me a question about how can you get information. I'm not sure what that's about. If you're vested after 3 years and move to a competing brand, do you still receive profit share? Yes. So if you're in this number 1, for instance, if you are here when you've been with Keller Williams associate for 3 years and a day, then if you move to another company, which hopefully you won't, but if you move to another company, yes, you will still get your profit share. It's just that this is for people after April 1st. So this isn't really even going to take place for 7 more years. So it would have to be, I guess, April 1st, 2027 before any of this actually would move into place, because you're not vested for 7 years after April 1st, if that makes sense to everybody. Okay. Ashley, are you monitoring that chat box?
I am.
Okay, very good. Okay. So Ashley's going to keep monitoring that for me, and then let me know if there's any questions. Okay. Something that's really important, you can will your profit share to a beneficiary. That beneficiary can be your trust, it can be your philanthropy, it can be the American Heart Association, it can be anything that you want it to be. What I'm going to say is really, really important is that when you sign your binding sponsorship agreement, when you join Keller Williams, they ask you to name your beneficiary. If that should change at any point, at any time, you need to make sure that you're going back to your market center and talk to your MCA and change your beneficiary information, because if you were to pass away, we're going to go to the paperwork that the market center has. That paperwork doesn't go anywhere. I just want to let everybody know it stays with the market center. So they're going, the Keller Williams, KWRI International, if you pass away, is going to go to the market center and they're going to say, who is the beneficiary? You're going to be able to get that information. They're going to get that information from that market center, and then that's who they're going to utilize. KWRI does not have that information necessarily on file. So you got to make sure that it's accurate with your MCA. And then you also have access to all the profit share reports on mykw.kw.com, specifically the profit share folder under reports. So if there's anything that you ever want to look up for your profit share, that's where you can get your information. Now, I also want to make sure, because this is something that I'm finding out that some market centers do and don't do. I know Andrew, your Kim does a really good job of this, but I want to make sure that on the 21st of every month, there is a profit share report that comes out. And you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a copy of mine. The next time I get it, I'm going to scan it in and show it to everybody. Depending on how many people you have in your tree or how many people are actually, you're getting profit share from, it could be 2 pages, it could be 7 pages. Sometimes mine is 20 pages long, but it shows you each level of people that you received profit share from. It doesn't give you your entire 7th level. You could get that on MyKW under reports, but it shows you all the people that you earned profit share from. So what's important about that is you can actually see where you're getting profit share from, what market centers, because a lot of times there could be people on your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th level. They could be in Canada. They could be in Washington, D.C. You just don't know where they could be coming from, because somebody that names somebody that names somebody that names somebody that names somebody, that's how your profit share grows. So it's not always going to be anybody that you know, but I think it's always interesting that you look at your 7 levels and see where it goes, so you actually see where you have people that you're earning profit share from. So make sure on the 21st, if you MCA does not email it to you, put it in your box or hand it to you, that you go to your MCA and say, hey, I understand that there's a profit share statement that's put out on the 21st of the month. I want to have it. And I want you to have those because I want you to see how your profit share is growing and where you're getting profit share from. Okay, so how do we build a successful, know how to build your passive income, have a plan in place to activate it, and then use the Keller Williams resources. So I'm going to share with you now how your profit share tree grows. I'm also going to give you some examples of people that, that have profit share. But if you go to page 17 in your book, she has some really great information here that I want you to be able to go back and I'm going to tell you the story of Linda McKissick, but I think it's important that you look at this because I want you to learn how Linda got her profit share. So first of all, this is how the tree grows. It starts off with you and then your sponsor. So everybody names a sponsor. When anybody joins Keller Williams, it's not a choice. You need to name a sponsor. Now I want to be really clear on something. It is not the person that's recruiting you. It's not. Most 99% of you all had a conversation with a team leader. Okay. Generally speaking, the team leader got the name, your name, from someone or learned of you in some way. You've got to consider that that's the person that is responsible for you making the decision to join Keller Williams. It's not always your team leader. It's not always, and I want to be really clear about this as well, it's not always the person that you're interviewing with if you're joining a team. You may have interviewed with, you may have gotten the name of a team leader by Sally, and you met Sally someplace, okay? And then you go and visit the team leader, and then you go and visit a team. You owe that referral to Sally, because Sally referred you to the market center, not to that team leader, and not necessarily to that person that you're going to be working for on the team, because you didn't get there because of that person. You got there because Sally referred you. It's kind of like a listing. Okay. We're fair on that. Like, who was the referral that got you that listing? So who do you owe the referral fee to? So I want you to think about it in that fashion. Okay. So there's you, and then there's your sponsor. And then your sponsor has a sponsor, because remember, everybody that joins Keller Williams has a sponsor. So you can see here, we're starting to build the trunk of a tree, I like to call it. Okay. Then as we move forward, you see there's you, there's your sponsor, and now we're starting to grow the tree. Now the limbs are starting to grow and the tree is starting to get full. So there's you, your sponsor's sponsor down here. And now there's you. And then these are the people that have come in and they have named you. And then this is how your tree grows. This is how it gets bushier. Okay. There's you. And then these were all these people on your first level. And if all these people on your first level go out and get 3 level, just like you did. Okay. And these people get 3 people, and these people get 3 people. You can start to see how this profit share really starts to grow, and you start to see how it looks like a full blossoming tree. That's why we call it your profit share tree. We don't call it multi-level. We don't call it pyramid. We don't call it any of those other things, a downline. We call it your profit share tree, because this is exactly what it is. And these are the people on your level. That is not multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing is when you have to buy something, or you're giving something for somebody and you're earning something from that particular person. Okay. This is strictly based off of the profitability of your market center. And then the levels, it's not multi-level, but the levels that we, that in the way that you join Keller Williams, that's where we share. And I'll be showing that to you in a minute here. Okay. Any questions so far, Ashley? Okay. Ooh, this got big. So I think I made this really big for this slide. Okay. So I'm showing you right now, I'm going to go through some, I'm deviating from the book, and I'm actually going to show you some examples, because I want to make sure that everybody really understands the importance. And if you go to page 23, it says focus on the first level, and that is important, but you need to really, all of your profit share is not going to be coming from your first level. We want you to focus on your first level, because what we know is when you get about 15 people in your first level, then that level starts to grow, and it starts to grow, and it starts to grow, and it starts to grow, just as you can see here. Now, this is Mike Brody. He's one of the top profit share earners in Keller Williams. And as you can see here, he only has 40 people in his top level. Yes, he's got more than 15, but he's got 40 people in his top level. But if you look here, these 40 got 209, that got 404, that got 886, that got 1626. And so you can see all these different people he's got profit share. Now, Mike Brody was with Remax back in the back in the late 80s and early 90s, and he was the Remax poster child, actually, and he was very, very prominent in Texas, in the Dallas, Plano area. And he was like on the Texas Real Estate Commission, and he was like president of the Texas Association of Realtors. He was the local president of the local association and so forth. So he was very well known. And Althea Osborne, who was one of Gary Keller's agents before Gary Keller was franchising regions, or excuse me, not franchising regions, but growing regions. He went to Althea and said, Althea, if you want to have an opportunity, you can go to North Texas, which is Dallas and Plano. Althea was in South Texas, and try to get some market centers started. You can have a region there. You can buy a region. So she tried and couldn't get any leverage. And so she finally hired this guy by the name of Darren Gribble. Now, Darren Gribble was a telemarketer. And so she said, Darren, I need you to go out and get me some really great people, because I need to get this region started. And so Darren used this really tough script to get this appointment with Mike Brody. And the script went something like this. It went, hey, Mike, you don't know me. My name is Darren Gribble. I'm calling because I have an opportunity I want to share with you. It's a new concept. It's about Keller Williams Realty. would you have 15 minutes of time to be able to let me show you this new plan? And Mike said, okay. So he went, he met Darren Gribble. About 2 hours later, Althea was there, and he said, I'd like to learn more. They flew him to Austin. He met Gary Keller. He joined Keller Williams. And when he joined, I know this because I was there, he had a card table and like 2 or 3 chairs, and he was selling the vision of Keller Williams because we hadn't really started in that area yet. Okay. Now, I want to preface something. That was when we only had about 4,000 people. So Keller Williams didn't exist like you know it today. And we were selling kind of a vision of where we're going to be. It doesn't have to be that way today because we're so big. You know, we've profit shared like, I think, $1.7 billion. And from what I understand, the first half of that billion was earned over the first like 35 years. The second half of that billion has been earned over the last 5 to 7 years. So the point I'm trying to make is we have a lot more geometric progression happening now, and it's going to be easier and faster for you to make more money now than it was, because in Mike's day, when he got started, it probably took him about 10 or 15 years before he started earning the profit share that he's getting today. So let's talk about that. So here's Darren Gribble, who's his sponsor. Now, last month, Mike only got $81,000. You know, so I mean, he's gotten 84, he's gotten 104, you know, he's gotten 104,000. So last month he got $81,356. Last year he made $700,000. So for people that are telling you the profit share isn't real, it is real. Now, Mike only has 40 people on his first line, 40. That means that 40 went out and got people that got people that got people that got people that got people. And as you can see, his biggest profit share does not come from his level 1. His biggest profit share comes from having all of these people in these various levels. So this is Mike Brody's profit share. Now let me show you somebody else. Let me show you Jimmy McKissick. Now, Jimmy McKissick named a gal by the name of Carol Bounds. Carol Bounds actually was the lady that owned the Keller Williams franchise in Denton, Texas. And when Jimmy and Linda McKissick made a decision to join Keller Williams, when they were mega agents, they were at another company, and they decided to join Keller Williams again in the earlier or late 90s. They named Carol Bounds. Now, what happened was that Carol, a franchise came up for renewal, and she decided she didn't want to have a Keller Williams franchise anymore. So she told Gary. Gary went to Linda and Jimmy McKissick and said, hey, I need somebody to buy this franchise because Carol wants to go off and do something else. She actually went out and bought a Century 21 franchise. And so they said, all right, if you want us to. Now, Linda was not profit sharing back in those days. Okay. She really, kind of like maybe some of you, she really kind of didn't get it in the very, very beginning. So they bought the franchise, and then she was in a mastermind one day with Gary Keller, and he was asking each one of the people. Back then there was only like 10 people in this mastermind. Now we've got, you know, thousands. But Gary gave them all an assignment to go out and work on a project about putting a company together. And by the time he got to Linda, who was the last person, everybody else had taken everything. And he said, well, why don't you just go and do research on profit share? So she said, okay. And she went and she did profit share research, and she goes, wow, this thing is really like phenomenal. And this is after she'd been with the company, I think 4, 5, 6 years when she tells that story. And so she started focusing on it. Now, first person she brought in, because when she, as I said, when you come into Keller Williams, you need to name a sponsor. She named her husband Jimmy. So Jimmy only has 2 people in his tree, Linda and somebody else. I don't know who it is, but you can see this person. You can see here how this tree is grown. Okay. Now Jimmy got $64,000 last month, and he's gotten 300 this year, 567 last year. By the way, Carol Bounds went and bought a Century 21 franchise. I think she makes $200,000 to $300,000 a year in profit share, probably more than she gets out of her franchise. And you can also see here that there is no profit share to Jimmy on his first level, because those people don't contribute, but he gets it from all these other various levels here. Now, Jimmy was lucky because he married Linda, and Linda named Jimmy as his sponsor, and this is why he's lucky. Because Linda gets $817,000 a year in profit share. Linda only has 27 people on her first level, but you can see these people got people, got people, got people, got people, got people. She got $95,000 last month, okay? She named Jimmy. And again, you can see that she doesn't get a lot of money on her first level, that she gets most of her money from these other various levels, because it's about these people that get people, that get people, that get, it's that tree. It's that tree that's growing, okay? This is why this works so beautifully, is because it's that tree that begins to grow. Now, these numbers may seem unrealistic to you. I'm telling you that right now, Gary Keller has said that the largest profit share earner has not joined our company yet. And like I said, the geometric progression happens quicker because now we have more market centers that are profitable. You got to remember, when in Linda and Jimmy and Mike's day, we had market centers that were not highly profitable. We didn't even have the amount of regions. We only had like 4,000 or 5,000 associates. So there wasn't a lot of profit share to be distributed back then. Now that we have, you know, close to 180,000, and that doesn't even count the people that have already that left us or retired that are still contributing or having people still send us names, because even after 3 years and a day you're vested, and if you leave and you retire, you can still recruit and you can still build your profit share tree. So we have people that have left Keller Williams but still send us the names of people, so we're still participating and sending out profit share to people who are no longer with us for any reason. But I want to show you something that's a little bit more reasonable, and see where you can grow. So I'm going to show you mine. Okay. Now I only have 9 people, and last month I got $3,800. The month before that I got $5,000. The month before that I got $4,400. So I earned somewhere in the $30,000 to $36,000 range. It'll look like it'll probably be about that same amount this year. But here's what the other thing you need to understand, okay? When I joined Keller Williams, I joined as a team leader. I did not do recruiting to my tree in the very, very beginning. There were maybe a few people, 2 or 3 a year, but I didn't do recruiting because I was recruiting for my people in my market center. This is why it's so important as agents, you understand that you need to give these names of the people that you believe would be great fits to Keller Williams to your team leader, because our job is to get people to join Keller Williams for you. That's our job. When we call you and ask you for a lead, we're not calling you and asking you for a lead because we want you to do our job. We're calling you and asking you for a lead because our job is to help make you as agents wealthy, to develop your profit share, to bring you passive income. So someday when you're making $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month in profit share, you know that we really contributed to your wealth. And that's really, really important for you as agents to understand. You're not doing the team leader's job. The team leader's doing their job to help you be profitable and successful and build passive income. So my job in the very beginning was to help everybody else's profit share grow. So honestly, the reason I don't have very many people on my first tree is because I didn't really go out and actively pursue profit share. Being a regional director, I honestly don't pursue it. And being an operating principal, I got some of my profit share when I launched a market center, but that's because I was the only person out there that was recruiting people to get my market center launched. So that's where some of those 9 people came from. But it's from the rest of the people. These levels here, you can see that I get the majority of my profit share from. Okay? And so this is what I really want you to understand is our job is to help you become wealthy. That's the job of a team leader. So Ashley, I'm going to stop before I take them into this next session here. And I see some, all right, so here's the thing, guys. You can't, my sponsor is no longer with Keller Williams. You don't change sponsors. You just, if they're no longer with Keller Williams and they were vested, they stay in that chain, just like you would stay in that chain. If they were not vested and they left before 3 years, then you would have moved up in that change, okay? So you do not have the opportunity to change sponsors when you join Keller Williams. There's a 90-day grace period in the very, very beginning. And the only reason that's there is for if an MCA made a clerical mistake for some reason, okay? So if your sponsor is no longer with Keller Williams, that's fine. You still stay in that level. They're getting profit share from you because that's the way the profit share system worked, okay? They may be at another company or they may have retired, but they're getting profit share from you. If they left before they are vested, so if you name somebody and they left before you were vested, then you move up to the next level. But we do not change sponsors because that's the person that brought you in. So that would be not appropriate to change a sponsor. That person that was your sponsor's sponsor brought that person in, so it would only be right that the next person in the chain would actually be getting your profit share. Okay, it says if we recruit a new agent, agent 2, and they recruit other agents under them, agent 3 and 4, if after a few years agent 2 decides to leave Keller Williams, does agent, no. What happens is it just as I said, so if they're with the company for 3 years and a day, well, if it's been after April 1st, it would be 7 years. If they leave before 7 years or 3 years, whichever was the appropriate time frame, if they leave before they're vested, everybody moves up. So everybody moves up. Nobody does not benefit. Does that make sense? If you have any more questions, you can go off mute and ask me about that. There's no way that we take profit share away from anybody. Let's see. I think I answered that question. We don't change sponsors. If your sponsor passed away, that's another question. Is that if they were vested? This is the beauty of Keller Williams. If the sponsor passed away, guess what? The everything goes to the heir or the estate, and then the heir or the estate, if they want to continue to build profit share, they can do that. They just have to bring people into Keller Williams. So the people that are the heir or the estate are still receiving that profit share. So you don't want to change because now you're taking money away from that person's heirs or their estate. Again, if the person wasn't vested, then you're just moving up, and then the next person up in line would be your sponsor. Okay. And then thank you for the clarification. Perfect. All right. Awesome. All right. And by the way, you've got to look at this. If something happened to you and you passed away, you would want your heirs and your estate. And if you were vested, you would want your heirs and your estate to receive that profit share as well. Okay. All right. So now let me share with you how this all kind of works. By the way, I'm explaining this to you, but I don't want you to feel in any way that all of these details that I'm sharing with you is anything that we expect you to do with somebody that you're talking about making a decision to come to our company. If you talk to people about our amazing profit share, that's not your job to go through this and explain all the details. I don't want you to think that at all. In fact, we generally do not go through all the details in an appointment unless somebody really asks us. The reason that we have these profit share classes like this is because after you've joined Keller Williams, you can come and learn about profit share from us. And then by learning about it, you're going to learn about all these details and things. But we don't want you necessarily having to talk to somebody that might be interested in having to go through this. Let us do that heavy lifting for you. Okay, so here is the agent. Here is the agent side. And so an agent has a commission, a GCI, gross commission income of $10,000. Now the market center gets $900,000 in GCI. So that's all of the agents contributing. The market center would get about $900,000, but of that $900,000, this agent A, I'll call this agent A, contributed $10,000 to that $900,000. Now, because we are a capping company, we don't get, like some of the other traditional real estate companies, we don't get to keep all of that $900,000. We pay out, in this particular case, we're paying out $400,000 of that because some of you are capped. So what we do is we have what we call paid on GCI, paid on gross commission income. So in this particular case, what we got paid on at 30%, which is our normal contribution, we got paid on $500,000 because we gave everybody else their 100%, $400,000, and we collected our company dollar on that $500,000. So it's 30%. that equates to $150,000. Okay, so we got 150,000. Everybody else got 350. So we paid out 350. We kept 150. Now, that's at 30%, that would be $3,000. So of this agent's commission at 30%, we would have kept 3,000. So now this particular agent A contributed 3,000 of this 150. Now we have our market center expenses and we have our market center profit, which is $60,000. Now in this particular case, because it's generally about a 52-48 split, depending upon what the profit is, the market center only kept 32,000. In most brokerages, the broker would keep this entire 60,000. But because in Keller Williams, we profit share, we give up a portion of that. In this case, $28,000 went to the profit sharing pool and 32,000 went to the owners for distributions for themselves or any of the market center investors. So in theory, you're just like an investor in a market center. But as I said before, you don't have to have any financial risk. You don't have to pay for shares. You don't have to worry about getting a distribution, okay? You're gonna get a percentage of the profit. So you're like a stakeholder in the Keller Williams company without having any financial interest. You know, a lot of times people say, how do I become an investor? And I say, go out and get some agents. Because when you're an investor, you're giving us money to own a piece of the market center, but you don't have to give us any money, and you can get a piece of this $28,000 without having to buy to be a part of this side, which comes with risk and not necessarily any guarantee you're going to get any money out of this, depending on how the market center is functioning, their capital, and all kinds of different things. Okay, so how does it determine of this $28,000 get paid out? Well, that's up here. Okay. So again, Agent A contributed 10,000 of the 500,000, which is 0.02 of the profit share pool. It's a factor. They contributed 3,000 of the 150. So if you divide 3,000 into 150 or 10,000 into 500, it comes out to 0.02 factor of the profit share pool. So here you see, here's this factor of 2%. Excuse me, a 0.02 factor. So 2 times 28,000 is $560. So this fact, based on this calculation, Agent A's contribution to the profit share pool is $560. So the person that brought in Agent A is going to get 50% of that, or $280. The person that brought that person in will get 10%, 5%, 5%, 7.5%, 10%, and 12.5%. So you can see how all of this is distributed until the entire $560 is distributed. This is called the distribution levels of the profit share tree. It's not multi-level. There's nothing I guess there's nothing multi-level about it, except there's multi-levels here, but we don't, it's not multi-level marketing. It's not multi-level. It's only, these are just the levels of the tree and how we give out our profit sharing. No difference than if you own a business, if you were the owner, well, you all are owners of your real estate business, and you said, gosh, you know what, I made $60,000 this month. I'm going to give out 48% of my I'm going to give out 48% of my profit, and I'm going to give it to all my employees for doing such a great job. And this is my, this is my my main employee, so I'm going to give them 280, and this is the one under her, and this is the one under her, and so forth and so on, or under him. It's no different. It's just a level of distribution, just distribution levels. That's all it is. All right, I'm going to stop right here and see if there's any questions. Any questions, Ashley? Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's continue on. If you had a question, put it in the chat box. Okay. Oh, Sam raised his hand. Yes, Sam?
Is that breakdown in any of the forms that you gave us?
No, because it's probably in some materials, but this particular breakdown is not. I'd have to put a disclaimer on it to do it. Is there something that you need, or do you just want something that shows this for some particular reason?
I was just wondering, just for business wise, just like the breakdown, how it all works. I was just curious.
We have materials on it that I'll have Ashley send out because we have everybody's email on here.
Okay.
Have to be careful because of earnings claims and different things that somebody could say, well, this is what you told me I'm going to get.
Sure.
So
I understand.
I can't do this, but we have materials on how all of this functions, and I'll be happy to send some things out to you. And so it's similar, just not exactly. Is that okay?
Sure. No problem. I understand.
Okay, very good. But thanks for
Thank you.
asking.
No problem. Thank you.
Why does the percentage go down? Okay. The reason for that is that was the way that the profit share system was originally designed, because they wanted to see as the levels grew, it's kind of like a butterfly effect. If you think about it, it kind of grows out and then it comes back in. So, if you think about it over the years, that's when the first layer of people started. And then, through the geometric progression, it kind of grows out. And then it comes back in where newer people are here and earning profit share. So you get the most because you were the most responsible for that. The people at the bottom levels are the people that were with the company the longest. So that's the reason that the distributions are set that way. But it's also the economics that they ran, be able to see how does everybody benefit the most out of profit share. And that's the way that was done by the gentleman that created this with, his name was Bob Carter. In fact, unfortunately, he passed away before profit share ever came to be. He developed a system and then he had cancer. And as he was finishing this out, he passed away. So we have a great award called the Bob Carter Award that we give away every year to some entrepreneurs in our company. Okay. Is it better to grow your tree down or wide or both? It naturally goes wide. And the reason why I say that is because when you bring somebody in, it naturally will grow wide, because it's never going to go straight, because you can't make it go straight, because you can't control the people that are in your company, in your tree, because you've got people that, if you think about the tree this way, you guys have great questions. I'm not sure if this pen is going to show good. I need to have a darker one. Oh, that's not good. Here, this might work. Okay. So if you have your, oh, poo. Hold on. Here's the purple one. So if you have your tree and you have 3 people here, okay, this person may not do anything at all. This person may go out and get 1 person. This person may go out and get 1 person. This person may go out and get 1 person. So there you'd kind of have a straight line. But what you really want is you want this person to get 3 people. Because when this person gets 3 people, and this person gets 3 people, and this person gets 3 people, and this person gets 3 people, it starts to go wide. And when it starts to go wide is when you benefit the most. Okay? So this is really what you want. But what happens is, you've got people that are going to grow and it's going to get wide here. You got this person that doesn't do anything at all. That's why we want you to have 15 people on your first line, because by having 15 people on the first line, we know that you've got a really, really great chance of getting this tree nice and wide and bushy, so you can get the maximum profit share. If you have a new recruit, can you add them below? No. So when you, if this is you here, and these are people that you brought in, okay? Now you bring in a new recruit. That new recruit is going to come in and name you. They're going to go here. They can't go any place below. You could actually put them in somebody else's tree. So if this was your new recruit and you said, you know what, I want you to go over here into this person, and I want you to name this person as your sponsor, so then they're going to get that profit share and so forth. Like maybe if you had an administrative assistant, you might say, hey, I just brought on a new agent, or we have a new agent. I'm going to put them under your tree, and then this person would get profit share and you'd get profit share, and then this would work. So you can do it that way if you wanted to. So the agent produced 560 of profit. No, doesn't have any. No. It doesn't have. The agent did not produce $560 of profit. Okay, let's get clarity on this. This is the agent brought. It doesn't have anything to do with the agent's profitability. Let's be clear on that. What happens is it's just saying that this agent contributed $3,000 of the $150,000 of company dollar. When we divide that 3,000 by the 150, that's 0.02 factor of the entire of the market center's profit, not the agent's profit, of the market center's profit. So this is how out of the owner's profit that they contributed to profit share, because remember, this 28,000 came from the owner's profit, okay? This 560,000 came from the owner's profit, 0.02, and then that's what we're sharing back. We're sharing back the owner's profit. This does not have anything to do with the agent's profit. I want to make sure that everybody is clear on that. Okay, let me go to the chat. All right, to clarify, if I bring a rainmaker and he brings his team, the rainmaker goes wide and the team goes down. You know what? That if you bring in a rainmaker, so if this is you and this is the rainmaker, okay, and the rainmaker brings his team, that would be dependent upon how the rainmaker wants to it's dependent on how the rainmaker actually wants to structure that. Okay, so the rainmaker may have somebody on his team, maybe this is administrative assistant, and he may say, I want you to name me and I'm going to have all these other people name you. Okay, or he may say, this is my admin, this is my first agent, I want all the rest of the team to go this way. It can be done many ways. I don't personally believe that it's smart to do this because that's not going to be where you're going to get the best of your profit share. It would be better if they go wide, because what happens is that everybody now that's coming in order for all these people to benefit would have to name this person. This person's going to get the 50%. So you really want it to go wide, and you want each one of these, in my opinion, you want each one of these people to go out and build their tree. Now, if you need more help with that, you can send me an email and I'll be able to have a call with you if you want to know more on how to structure that. I also have an advanced profit share class that we have. Ashley can put that date in the chat box for you. And we're working on our freedom numbers, and we're working on a lot of different things. And if that's something that you want to be more strategic about or learn more about profit share, you can come to our advanced profit share class and I'll be happy to help you there. Or if you just want to have a chat with me separately, I'll be happy to share with you how that works. Okay. Okay. So I think we're good so far. Let's continue on. Let's see, there's one more question that came up. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're on page 25 right now, and this is about relate, refer, recruit. I want you to cross out the word recruit because we actually are all about referring. What we want you to do is we want you to, the agents that you're doing deals with, we want you to, share with them why you love Keller Williams. Tell them stories, how you're building your business, all the great things that we do to help you become successful. It's not about Keller Williams. It's about you relating to them and why you love this company so much, okay? And then refer them to your team leader, and then the team leader will work with you on doing the recruiting, so to speak. We like to call it changing lives. And by the way, it's not only agents that you're doing deals with, it's also your past clients. So, again, when we're doing this live, we're spending more time kind of going through some of these scripts and dialogues and different things. And this is something, certainly, if you're taking this in your market center, that you can continue doing in your market center. But right now, if you just go to page 25 and you follow along, it's going to share with you some scripts as we move through this. And then there's also an exercise on page 27 that we want you to go through. And if there's you and you already know you've got people, name people that are on your first level. If you don't have people, think of some names that you would love to have on your first level, and then give those names to your team leader and work with them to be able to get those appointments set and to be able to have your team leader show the value to be able to help you do some recruiting. Also, depending upon the agent that you're talking to, if they're a capping agent, we have an opportunity for anyone that's a capper to be able to have an appointment with Donnie, our director of technology, and he's our regional tech trainer. And for people that are cappers, if you want to have Donnie have an appointment with those that, to share what we're doing with command or just tech in general, make sure you go to your team leader and get your team leader to get an appointment set up with Donnie, and we'll help you do some of the heavy lifting on that. Okay. So again, this talks about on page 29, how you can start the conversation, how you can share a real compliment, ask them for their input or their their expertise on something. On page 31, there's some more scripts here, how you can meet with a co-op after a transaction. If you've never done a deal, invite them to an event. That's a big one that we love to have you do. And then, work with your team leader to call people. On page 33 in your manual, it says, let's call some people, but we don't do that in this, obviously. But that's a great way for you to work with your team leader and get a list of names, and you can call those names and work with your team leader and see if you can develop some conversations and let the team leader help you. Okay. So these are all the pages I kind of just went through. And then, look for opportunities to help them too. Get to know them, share your insights, support each other, ask them about themselves, share your business tools and your insights, all these things that I talked about already. Be open to any outcomes, and time will enrich the relationship. Linda McKissick, our top profit share earner, says it's time and the value that you bring that will develop and nurture that relationship to the point that people will want to join. Insights from your team meetings, so come from contribution. Get them a GPS worksheet, a 411, the One Thing book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, Shift. I'm going to show you some things right here. These are things that are in that packet that I've given you, okay? So here's the simple coffee question. Would you like to meet for coffee? I'd love to get to know you and talk shop, and I've got a small gift of appreciation for you. Of course, now you may or may not be doing coffee with the COVID, but we're not always going to be this way. The simple question about coming to family reunion, mega camp or bold, okay? A business consultation question, a training question, a simple gift question. And then these are all the 10 simple gifts to grow your profit share tree that are new. Set up a business consultation session with your team leader. That's free. Invite to a training event in your market center. That's free. Send them to technology.kw.com. That's free. And by the way, if you're not familiar with that, you need to go and learn about it. Send them to Out Front. And when you're up there, click on the Join Me button, and it's got all kinds of different information about Keller Williams up there. Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Shift book, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor book, the One Thing book. We have free podcasts like Think Like a CEO and the One Thing. And then we have the Keller Williams Real Estate Training YouTube channel. So we have so many things that are opportunities for you to be able to just send out and give to people that don't, maybe except for the books, but you can probably get a book from your team leader that don't cost you anything, just to come from contribution, okay? Then refer them to the team leader, and here's a script that you could use if you just happen to have a closed transaction. It says, I love doing transaction with you. You are awesome. I told my team leader just the other day how great you were. He or she is going to be calling to thank you for the way you do business. Will you promise to take my team leader's call? Now, they may say to you, oh, I don't want to be recruited. And your comeback is, I understand, no problem. Just leave it at that. Let your team leader know they don't want to be recruited. We know what to do. Don't let the fact that you're afraid that if a team leader is going to call and recruit somebody stop you from growing your tree. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a day when an agent joins this company that you wish you would have given the name to your team leader, because somebody else is going to get the profit share that you should have gotten. At some point in time, that's going to happen to you because you were afraid to be able to give the team leader a name, because you were afraid that the team leader is going to recruit that person. If you're concerned about that, have a conversation with your team leader. Let them know how you want them to handle the recruit or the agent, and we know how to do that. We'll be very gentle. And if they join, great. If they don't join, then maybe we just help them build their business better. But don't be afraid of of not giving a name to your team leader for fear we're going to do something inappropriate. Have the conversation with the team leader and let them know how you feel about things. That's really, really important. Here's an objection. I don't intend to recruit you. I hope you aren't disappointed. My team leader and I just wanted to thank you. That's it. I mean, you don't even have to say that. Just say, okay, I understand, and just go on with it and let the team leader know, okay? Never say anything negative about someone else's company. Never say anything negative about someone else's broker. And never say anything negative about what you think they might be experiencing. And then find out how your team leader, we don't do this on this call, but find out how your team leader prefers to receive the referrals. I'm sure that there's something in your market center that you have a system for that. So make sure. And here's some things that you can do. In your market center, maybe after this class or at another time, get some other agents in your market center, maybe your growth committee, or maybe just your team leader or somebody else that you know is on this call, and role play a meeting. Just have fun, just role playing back and forth, and somebody be the team leader and somebody be the recruit, and just role play back and forth, okay? Follow up, you can connect with them on social media. You can call an agent about an item that you shared. You can invite them to a class. You can enter them in command, and you can track when you talked to them the last time. You can put them on a neighborhood nurturer. You can put them on a smart plan for their neighborhood. There's tons of things that you can do. Offer them your KW app, okay? And then this is just, again, something that I want to leave you with. This is in your book, into building your your passive income plan, okay? But what would passive income do for you and your family? Imagine having $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a year in passive income. How many people do you want in your first level? What activities are you going to engage in regularly? And what activities will you engage in today? And how are you going to stay on track? So these are all the things to help you build a plan. Again, we're not going to do it on this call, but if you're interested in building more profit share, come to my advanced profit share class. Ashley, do you want to put that in the chat box? And we have that every month, and we've already had our first one, and we talked about, actually what I talked about was the lid. I think I talked about the lid, and I talked about some other things as to how they can have a freedom plan. And so we're going to talk more about your lifestyle. We're going to talk about about investing and how profit share can contribute to your lifestyle. And we're also going to talk about how you can use profit share to pay off some things that are really important in your life, maybe some debt or some house payments or some cars or something like that. Okay. And so these are all the things that we covered today. And I'm not going to ask you, well, I am now going to ask you for your ahas and maybe what impact this has and what you got out of this class and what some of your next steps are. So I'm going to quit sharing right now, and I'm going to get to see all of you. So who wants to go off mute and talk to me about anything that you learned? Sam, did you learn anything today?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know, for sure I didn't know with that it didn't have to be an agent, that it can be an admin, because that makes me think I have somebody. So I'm like, okay, I need to get them in the.
Now you won't earn profit share from that person, but from her. But yeah, if she brings somebody in, she'll get profit share, and then you'll get profit share.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that works for you, that's really, really important, because then she can benefit, and maybe if you recruit somebody, you can put them in her tree, and then she'll get profit share and you'll get profit share. Make sense?
Absolutely. Well, the thing is too, is she, my transaction coordinator actually is in a different state, and she's actually licensed in a different state, but not with KW. So I'm trying to, that could be an incentive to push her over the edge.
Yeah, because we want her to be with Keller Williams. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Great job, Sam. All right. What else, everybody? Somebody go off mute and tell me what you learned. Hey, Christine Meadows, I see you there. How's your mom doing? Your mom and dad, how are they doing?
They're doing good. Sherry's at a home inspection right now, I believe.
Awesome. So, well, what did you learn? Did you learn anything today?
I think really it just updated a lot of thoughts for me. I did bring an assistant on this year, and we put her, had her sign up, so she is in my downline. And I really think with assistants, it's a good idea to just make them aware of all of these things. So this is top of mind when they're talking to other agents, or when they're talking to, anybody in their community looking to get into real estate, or to buy or sell. Our assistants are profit centers for us.
Thing is to say, look, you could have profit share for the rest of your life if as we're doing deals, talk to the other admins or the different people and see if anybody's interested. Give them some scripts, let them go to coffee or Coke or something with some of the other admins and learn what's going on. That's a great way to be able to bring people on. So say hi to Sherry and Bert for me.
I will.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Go off mute and tell me what you think. We're perfecting this every time because this is about the 4th or 5th time that I've done it. And I just keep adding more things, or I learned something like, Sam wants more of the detail. And so we're learning things to be able to make this what we think is going to be beneficial for everybody. So anybody else have any questions, ahas, anything in the chat, Ashley?
So if I have a question, this is Sam again.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I wanted to go deeper with you and I wanted to set up an appointment, I might have some one-off questions that may not be pertinent for everybody else. Could I go about that, or would it be a question for team lead, or my team lead? How would I do that?
You're welcome to email me. If you just email Ashley at KW North Florida.
Okay.
Ashley, will you put your email in there? And then just email Ashley if it's like 15, 20 minutes. We can just, we can just find time to talk sometime or something.
No problem. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome to go to which market center are you in?
Lake Nona, Debbie Irons.
Oh yeah, you can go to Debbie or Lori and they can probably help you. And then if you don't feel you're getting the right answer, you want to know more, just give me a call.
Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Happy to help. Hey, and Sam, if you're really interested in this, attend our advanced profit share class. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's once a month. All right. Let's see, anything else in chat? Ashley, I see there's a message there from somebody. If you would highlight that, correlates to much agent gets for profit share. The factor money would go up. Okay. So I'm not sure if that person is still here. It's a private message. So if that person is still here and they want to give me a call afterwards or set up a time with Ashley, I'll be happy to go through that with you. Okay. Other than that, I guess we're good. So thank you guys for being on our class today. We hope you enjoyed everything. Go out there and build your profit share tree, and go out there and be the next Linda McKissick of Keller Williams and make millions of dollars. But if your goal is to make tens of thousands, we're happy with that as well, just as long as we're helping you accomplish what you want to accomplish. Okay. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.